Phase Zero bonus episode starts right now. Welcome to our X-Men 97 finale reaction review live immediately. It's 2:54 a.m. in the morning where I'm doing this right now in Nashville. Oh my gosh, whose idea was this? They're a crazy person. I'm sorry, that was me. We wanted to be live immediately after the episode, so here we are. It's BD, joined this morning, this evening, who knows what time, what. Jamie Durack is here.
It's 1 a.m. my time. Welcome to my time. This is my time of night. This is my time of day. I'm thriving. Hello.
Oh my gosh, same. Jenna Anderson is here.
Man, I'm a night person, and even this is a lot. Like, I did this for She-Hulk every week, but then to like go and be on and talk about it is definitely an undertaking. But I'm very happy to be doing it with you guys.
I am thrilled to be doing this. This is like my mental hoops that I jumped through to justify being like, hey, we should do it right after the episode was basically like maybe 3 times a year we would do something like this, and we just want to be available all day once people, get to watch the show. They could join us live. We have people watching with us live or whatever time it is, wherever everybody is, because we have to basically, this is gonna be a therapy session. X-Men 97 finale was phenomenal. And we need to talk about it. So first of all, this is how the show is going to work. We do our reactions all around. Then we'll also maybe just touch on full season reactions, and then we'll do a deep dive into the episode, full spoilers, and then we'll rate the episode out of 10 at the end of the show. I encourage everybody in the comment section not only to subscribe to the channel, because there's also an awesome video of the X-Men and X-Mansion Airbnb tour on the Phase Zero channel. If I do say so myself, I highly recommend everybody watch that video. Thank you for that. But yeah, we do this all the time, so thank you for hanging with us. We can just go with reactions. Jamie, what'd you think of this X-Men 97 finale?
Amazing. I just tweeted it, but X-Men 97 is officially my favorite thing I've watched this year in 2024. I'm like, The Acolyte and Agatha are the two things I'm most hyped for, and they have big shoes to fill to be my number one, because amazing. This episode was so good. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna lie. I did think Charles and Eric were gonna kiss at one point. I really thought it was gonna happen. I genuinely gasped, but it did not happen. But that's okay. I still loved it. We got a little Wanda sprinkle, little teeny Wanda, and so I'm just living high.
I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely thought the same thing about Charles and
when they're caressing each other, that was the moment for me. I was like, this is something might happen here, and if it does, it's gonna be great.
There was just that moment where they were talking, and then all of a sudden, Charles leaned in a little further.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait a second, are you guys about to? Jenna, what'd you think of the episode?
I thought it was great. There are some elements I probably will need a little bit more than 10 minutes to sit with and probably stew with. But just in terms of an immediate reaction, I think this delivered almost everything we could have expected it to, and then some. We'll get to all the cameos. We'll get to what they're teasing for season 2. But they stuck the landing in almost every single way.
Did they stick the landing? My goodness. This was phenomenal. I mean, everybody. Jake Castorena, Emmy Emmett, Yonemura, Bo DeMeo, everybody who worked on the show, they cooked. They cooked. If you smell what the X-Men 97 filmmakers are cooking. This finale was fantastic. Let's talk about stick and landing. It really does in every way. It did not there's no way to expect what happened in this last episode, and still almost all of it works really, really, really well. I thought it was just phenomenally executed. I thought some major characters were actually going to were dead. I thought they were done. I was like, wait a second. They start pulling on the heartstrings. There's action. There's one moment that was a little convenient. But other than that, it was just such a damn good episode. There's multiple credit scenes. Basically, they call it, they were all together, but it felt like there was just multiple credit scenes. And it just gave you everything you like. I don't know. I saw this on Monday and I haven't been able to say anything about it.
Oh.
And it's been difficult. It's been very difficult.
There is also a little mid-credit scene.
Yes.
That I am watching now because I didn't know it was existed.
So, okay, so here we go. Full spoilers, by the way. We're just diving into full spoilers. The mid-credit scene was like the time jump bit, right? Yeah. See,
no.
Or was that the Genosha bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, okay. So the other two were pre-credits
That was just the ending of the episode.
with
Yeah.
where Forge said we got to
Yeah.
go. They're out in time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, yeah. When I saw this, it didn't have credits at all, so I didn't know where they were going to get stacked into. All right, so let's do a deep dive. Everybody loves the episode. Do we want to acknowledge we all loved this season as a whole? Do we need to really spend time diving into that?
I
Yeah,
hope
lots of-
people caught that by now, listening
Yeah.
to our show for the past 9 weeks.
I think you're right. Also, one quick note: this is in place of our regular Wednesday show because it is whatever time it is, and that means we're not going to wake up. I have to wake up and get on a plane to go to Jamie's part of the country, and like I have to leave in like I'll be in the air in 6 hours. This is brutal, but so the show
Your idea, buddy.
Yeah.
I know. As soon as here we are.
You're just the Oppenheimer meme right now. You're like, what have I done?
I've given myself.
I gotta wake up and write the If review. But look at me. I did drink some tea though. I think I'm gonna be up till like 4 a.m. You guys.
Man, I took a nap. Like, we all cope in our different ways.
Yeah. And then
I
we
watched a
woke up
3-hour Japanese movie right before, so
Jesus. Yeah, that's why you're wired. All right. So X-Men 97, episode 10 starts with the Charles and Eric at the bar. It's clearly some sort of flash sideways, not to make a Lost reference, but they're talking about mutants, admitting to each other they are mutants. The moment where Eric says there are no mutants, and he does one of these with the eyes, I thought that was hilarious. Like that's a meme right now, I think, where like in today's world where people are like, oh yeah, I'm not interested in this thing I'm very obviously interested in.
like the
And
monkey.
like yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. I love that. I thought the line there was just some great dialogue. And it culminated with such psychic penetration leaves both our minds shattered. And then heed what happened when my village used reason while others used tanks. And Charles is like, all right, well, I'll do what I have to do because you're not cooperating. I'll be the tank myself. And that essentially gets Magneto turn the power back on, but also he forgets everything. So first question, how did Charles get free of the helmet and that kind of metal thing that was holding him up in the first place at the end of the last episode? Did I miss something?
I don't remember.
Because didn't the last episode end with all of them, like he said, shut up, and then they put the helmet on him and he threw him over there and everybody had to watch as Magneto unleashed that EMP, and I don't think we checked back in on everybody.
I think him getting stabbed, like maybe
Oh, yeah.
gave
It like kind of
Eric-
knocked it off
Yeah.
of Charles's head. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I thought that was a great opening scene, and that really became a huge part of the episode was that like sideways mind thing. So we get cameos. Let's just run through all the cameos real quick. As the lights come back on, we see Iron Man, Captain America, Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger were a little bit later in the episode, right? I just wrote them here because this is where I had my list of cameos, but they showed up a little bit later. When Daredevil got thrown through the window, he saw Silver Samurai, Omega Red, Psylocke, North Star, other mutants, too many for me to have caught.
There's one scene, it's kind of in like the third act of the episode where you see a bunch of high school kids watching a news broadcast about what's been going on. And you can so clearly tell, I immediately knew that is Peter Parker, MJ, and then there's Flash Thompson walking behind him in his little Letterman jacket. So we got a little Spider-Man cameo, but very, very subtly.
I caught that too because I was like, that's MJ. But then I'm like, why isn't Peter suited up though? What's he doing? There's a lot going down, buddy. Why?
He had like a big test that day and he couldn't like go be Spider-Man. I don't know.
That man was suited up when the power went out.
Yeah,
He said,
I don't
power
know.
went out. I got to be Peter. No powers Parker over here. Bastion, he's got Beast, Storm, and Jubilee captured in the next sequence. He is so salty that he wasn't recruited to the X-Men, and this is like his crusade. And then Storm tries to reach him, and I forget what she says, but then when he said, "Did you just try to appeal to my humanity? Look at me." I popped. I was like, bro, he knows he just looks like an absolute villain. And then he has some straight up villainy line. I mean, the lines about how many times you fail to save your carbon copy mothers. And then Cable's like 200 times. But how's your mommy, Sebastian? Popped again. Great comeback. Little did Cable know he'd get beaten with his own arm later in the episode. Woo! What were we thinking about Bastion at this point?
They handled him so well. He's just the right amount of smarmy and evil with like a smidge of, redeemability, even in the worst possible context. I don't know. I think that like for as truncated as his arc had to be by the time we like realized he was in the show and we like actually started getting towards the end of the season, I think they did a good job.
I thought. I guess I'll just cut to the chase. Do we think his story is done?
I
Like,
don't know.
no way, right?
I mean, the X-Men, the animated series, no villain was ever done, but they
No.
always came back. So, I could take it or leave it. I don't have strong feelings either way. I will tell you one thing though: they messed up my boy's face. They
Yeah.
ruined my sweet boy's face. Mr. Sinister, they melted his face, and I was so upset.
Look at how they massacred my boy.
For a second, I thought you
literally
were
what I
talking
said.
about Beast getting like scratched in the face, and I was gonna be like,
Oh,
you
no.
having that visceral reaction to him getting like a small gash would have been
No, that's my
hilarious.
other boy.
Yeah.
But I'm not attracted to him, so his face can get a little messed up.
That was so Phoenix showed up. This was the one part that I was a little worried because I thought like this. I didn't when I watched this, I didn't see the runtime. I didn't know it was 43 minutes long, and I was like, oh, we must be halfway through the episode. Phoenix showing up is so convenient to defeat Bastion, and I thought that was just like going to be the final fight at first. I was like, this is too easy, but no, Phoenix showing up ended up being awesome. And I thought it was a little convenient how she suddenly was very in control of the Phoenix. She said the Phoenix Force is gone now, but I could feel it deep inside me pulling back to protect my son. So I guess that's like cool because it's like that, the mother in her brought it out, so that it's cool. But I was a little bit like, please don't let this be how this whole season ends because this is such a left turn, and it wasn't. So it worked in the end.
All I thought in that moment was Jenna's gonna have thoughts about this. Like I didn't even have thoughts. I was just like, Jenna, what is Jenna thinking?
I'm so honored. I was elated. Like there were 2 times at this point in the episode where I had like audibly reacted. The first was Cloak and Dagger because that was the one cameo where I was like, that never would have expected them to show up on the show. I was absolutely delighted by that. And then just this moment was just so cool and just so reflective of who Jean is. I equate it to like when a mom is able to like lift a car up and like get the strength to like help her baby. Basically, it feels like that, but like it times 100. So yeah, I'm sure that there probably is some sort of lore reason that will be explored later on for her connection to the Phoenix Force being this way. But for the moment, I was just like hooting and hollering.
Hooting and hollering. I wish I would have filmed the reactions that everybody had when we watched it because there was probably like 14 of us who watched it like during that X Mansion trip, and we were all just and it was just cool to have like an audience watching it and everybody having like a Jamie punching Aaron moment throughout. Bastion's pretty pissed off about the whole thing. Takes Cable's arm, like I mentioned, beats the ever-loving heck out of him with it. I thought that was amazing. Charles and Eric, they're out cold this whole time. They're getting carried around. They're getting thrown in the X-Jet. Everybody's trying to escape. Asteroid M, basically. Wolverine. He's alive. He's alive. We can see where that's going.
The chat brought it up a little bit when we were talking about the other 2 set of characters that we thought were going to kiss. Morph being like, well, I can turn into Jean and tell Logan that I love him. I immediately thought of Jamie. Like I had the same moment. I was like, I need to know Jamie's reaction.
I was like, I did gasp because I was like, whoa, Morph, making your move here. But also that reminded me of my favorite episode of television in the history of television, which is the series finale of Angel. There's a moment that's very similar to that in the series finale of Angel, and that kind of gut punched me real good. So I felt that hard.
And that's going to lead to, the feral version of Wolverine. I assume you guys talked about that last week, right?
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yo. When Rogue came flying in and said his name was Gambit, remember it, I was like, let's go, Rogue. Rogue put a beating on Bastion until she couldn't anymore, but it was great. I was like, yo, Rogue is going to town on this man, making new craters with his body. and I skipped the part where Bastion basically upgraded himself by using Cable's arm and absorbing everything in there. So he's like a flying, just evil angel robot thing. Roberto shows up to help her. He is now Sunspot. It's got more flair. Oh, what a line. Oh, what a line.
I did wish those two lines had not rhymed, because that did take me out for like a split second. I was like, it is almost a limerick at this point.
Oh, okay. One pivotal thing. I think this is going to be, as we continue to discuss, are we going to get Avengers versus X-Men? Black Panther and Captain America are advising the humans not to use the Magneto protocol because they don't know about Asteroid M. So Captain America said, "We know almost nothing about Asteroid M. This could do more harm than good." And then they just disregard him, obviously, and Cap is looking pretty bummed out. I think that Avengers mutant relations have not been helped by the fact that the Magneto protocol was activated.
It's gonna get spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad that Steve had that little moment, because after his and Rogue scene earlier in the season, a lot of people were like, he was portrayed a little too much like a cop. And like, they kind of got that that was the context of the scene. But I'm glad that he got to have like more depth and kind of like a moral code in the moment, and like kind of side with the X-Men for a split second about it.
Yeah, I think that's going to lead to a divide. If you remember the Avengers versus X-Men comic, like Scott Summers is just like, "Shut the up, Captain America," and just comes blazing in. And this could be something that sets that sort of thing up. Yeah, that would be cool. I'd be here for it. Back in the Eric and Magneto mine sequence, we see three. It's like there's a boat sailing in the water in the background, and it's full of three characters that have four characters that Magneto feels have left him. I think seemingly he's having like a damn, I mess up and people leave me moment. And those characters are Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Polaris, and Rogue, which was very cool to see them all. You kind of got the silhouettes of those three, but you see Rogue very clearly, and it was very quick. But I saw Scarlet Witch, and I was like, Jamie is psyched.
Tony noticed it before me. He pointed, and I literally did a double take. I was like, because she's like so blurred in the background, and I was focused. It took me a minute, but I'm like, again, I will take a shadowy Wanda over no Wanda at all.
Do we know where Wanda is? She's listed as off-world.
Oh, because I was just going to say that point. I don't know, actually. I have no idea.
All that says to me is that they know, and that
Yeah.
we're gonna get an answer and get some off-world Scarlet Witch in season 2. Like that, like to me, that is all the confirmation I need about that.
I'm also like, off-world doesn't necessarily have to mean like cosmic in space. Like, it could be that she's just like on Witch's Road, and like the normal population can't like see that.
Fair.
There was a couple though. Like I think Quicksilver was also listed as off-world. So if you look at the very end, after Asteroid M explodes, Forge's list has missing and off-world as labels for the characters up there. And I'm pretty sure Quicksilver was also listed as off-world. So I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's wise to save some characters for the next season too. You know,
Yeah.
like we already know them from the animated series, but it's cool to have, we'll have reintroductions, in upcoming episodes. I just hope season 2 doesn't take forever. It's already recorded, I'm pretty sure.
The chat
But,
has been debating about that this entire show. Like, we do need to just say, for the people who don't know, like, they were renewed for season 2. Supposedly they've been doing the voice work for a while, so hopefully it's sooner than later.
Charles tries to earn Eric's trust in there with that same sequence. Meanwhile, all the X-Men are starting to fight Bastion and just losing one by one, basically. And when he said to Jubilee, "What will you do, child? Slay me with the 4th of July?" Dudes, who writes this guy's mind? It's just great dialogue. He was such a dick in this episode, but like at least in clever ways. Bastion, yeah, they talk about people who got massacred and busted up. Theo James, you're not looking so hot, buddy, which is not the norm for you. Beast, Morph, Jean, and Storm, they all step on him with a Sentinel, which was, I was like, oh, they got him, and then he stood up. Nope, they didn't get him. How do you kill this guy? You don't.
I was worried about Beast in this moment. I really
I
got nervous.
I was with you. I thought Beast was going to die here for sure
Whew.
because Bastion, not a good guy, not a good guy. But that doesn't stop Cyclops from trying to reach him. Old Charles's lessons all on display, and Cyclops is like, "All right, everyone, class is in session. We're not gonna fight him anymore. We're just gonna walk on up there. We're gonna talk to him. We're gonna reach him." It almost kind of worked too, though.
I hate to admit it. I thought it was a pretty good Cyclops moment.
That's right. It was.
Don't tell
We
Chris.
did it. We did it, guys.
Cyclops was like at least a candidate for MVP of this episode.
Wow,
I will
wouldn't go
say
that
just the
far.
Summers family was like the MVP of this entire episode, because between that and the Phoenix moment, and then the scene with the three of them at the diner, like I'm sure we'll get into the specifics, but like that really, really got to me.
That was a good scene. That was
Yeah.
really solid. I enjoyed everything about that. I thought they all got really sweet moments, and just the acceptance that like as someone who's had a lot of step parents, I feel like sometimes you just gotta, like, Jean's still his mom in a way, you know. She's still, it's all in her, you know, mind and stuff, and I like that he kind of accepted that.
Yeah. That scene, I think, to me was what really cemented this episode as just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because I went from, oh my god, Beast is about to die, to, oh, they're gonna kill Cyclops. I really, because he was ready to make that sacrifice, and I mean, I thought it was kind of, Rogue said, well, Gambit died so we could live, and it was like, well, yeah, Cyclops is realizing he just has to do the same thing. As you say it, I was like, do you guys not realize that this is the same situation? And I did think Cyclops was going to die. He tries to get everyone in there. Then that moment at the table was phenomenal. It kind of reminded me both of WandaVision and of Tony Stark in Endgame, when he made that hologram to talk to people after he died. But, you know, this was all a telepathic projection. That sequence was just, these people, they know what they're doing on X-Men 97. I'll tell you what. And yeah, when he seemingly endorses Jean as his mother, I really kind of like they went somewhere else, but I'm real curious where this is going to leave Cable for the next season. Like, what he just got his butt whooped by his own arm. He finally like embraced his parents, all this stuff. That stuff could change a man. Mostly the beating with your own arm.
Now we got baby Cable up in there. Well, I should
Yeah.
say a
Teen
young
Cable.
man, teen
Yeah,
Cable.
yeah. The moment I for sure thought Scott was going to die was when he showed his eyes.
I
I was
love
like,
that.
That was
I was
really
like,
good.
once they did that, I was like, oh no. It was really good. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that?
I am willing. Listen, I'm not a hater just to be a hater. If they're gonna do something I like, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna admit it. He had a good episode. What can I say?
It
From
took
there-
9 weeks, but we're finally here.
From there, Charles and Magnus had their pivotal moment. There's a power of seeing yourself in another, and resemblance. There is none like me. The X-Men may not resemble each other, but they're still family. They go on, they go on, they go on. Magneto remembers who he is. Magneto lives! That was cool. I thought that was a pretty cool moment. And boom, the asteroid, or the power is restored. Or the power's already restored. But the missiles from the Magneto protocol hit. Cyclops has tried to save Bastion, but it seems the core exploding has pulled Bastion in, maybe to his death, maybe to another timeline. Like, we don't really know where Bastion went, but the asteroid explodes. It's gone. Oh my god! It cut to black. Is that the end of the episode? I thought the episode was over. I thought that was it on the cut to black. And then we hear a radio say 6 months after E-Day. What does E-Day stand for? Do we know? Theories?
Extinction? I don't know. That was my first guess.
Electricity Day.
Oh, Explosion Day.
Electricity would make sense when that's what the majority of the world got out of that day. So
Every human is kind of a dick in this world day. Extreme. They're talking about extreme secretion, the second coming of Magneto. I was kind of wondering who that could be about, because obviously that's like there's probably foreshadowing some villain that's coming in season 2. But then Bishop walks in and finds Forge, tells him it's not a question of where they went, it's a question of when, because Forge has the big board of characters on it. Jean, Charles, Scott, Storm, Beast, Morph, Rogue, all listed as missing / presumed dead. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are listed as off-world. There were others as well. I need to take a look back at that board. But
Colossus is okay.
Colossus.
His picture was great. Tony was very happy.
He's all
Colossus,
good.
I don't know where he is, but he's fine. He's on Earth. He's living large.
I also just need to acknowledge that whole board is homage to the Days of Future Past comic cover, which is like a very iconic image in and of itself. So
cool.
Good call. I wish we had the images. We did this at 2:30 in the morning, people. We don't have the images ready to go, but we got the call outs. If you're listening to us in podcast form, it doesn't matter. That's where most of you are anyway. But everybody who's with us live tonight, thank you for hanging with us. We do this. We don't do this time of day all the time.
We could though. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Please no.
Not me. But subscribe to the channel because we wanted to be here. We wanted to be the part of the conversation right when the episode ended. So then this cuts to those scenes that play like credit scenes. Egypt 3000 BC and then 3960 AD, where Scott and Jean have found themselves. Good for them on ending up together, whatever the time explosion did, putting them together. And then Magneto, Beast, Rogue, Nightcrawler, and Charles are in Egypt 3000 BC. They see a guy who takes his little face cover off. He's got the apocalypse lips. And he says, "I'm En Sabanor." And we're just, hey, you're the guy. And then
I literally said out loud, "I'd know those lips anywhere."
And then the final moments see Mother Ascani, aka Rachel Summers. And she calls up little Messiah Paul Atreides. I mean, Nathan Summers. And they and Jean and Scott are probably like, what the when are we? What is happening? So clearly big comic stuff coming. This show is really following some epic comic stuff.
It's interesting because it's like both of the plot lines have to do with Apocalypse, because it's weird. They changed the name of the city that Rachel references. They called it Crest Coast, but in the comics it's Coast Crest, and it is like a utopia that Apocalypse helps form. So like at some point those two storylines are gonna diverge, and it's gonna meet up, and it's gonna be really interesting.
The X-Men comics, I mean Avengers comics have too, but they've done these stories where characters are in multiple timelines at the same time. Usually like looking for something or whatever it is, but then, but they tell the story all simultaneously to the reader. And that definitely seems to be where season 2 is going. And I think that's going to be sick. And also Apocalypse, like maybe they're doing like a Kang type of thing where he's going to be in multiple like timelines. And ultimately we see he has landed in the present day. That's the final thing we see as Apocalypse has arrived in Genosha. And what did he say? Something about like my poor children or something.
Yeah, and then he had like Gambit's card in his hand. I totally thought that like they were gonna tease Krakoa in some way in that moment.
I thought so too.
I was like, Krakoa? And then it's like, no, but like we're getting there. If Apocalypse is involved, we're getting there at some point. So
yeah, I thought they were definitely going to introduce like Magneto wanted like a new place for mutants to go or something. There was going to be Krakoa, but no, this went in some unexpected directions. And the last words of it before the credit scene were just Beast going, "Oh dear," and that fully reminded me of Infinity War, where Steve said, "Oh God," when they like realized they lost. Yeah, this was phenomenal. This was phenomenal. Anything else from this episode you guys want to discuss? Anything about season 2 where you think it might go?
I'm trying to think if we caught all the. I don't think we mentioned Morph turning into Mr. Fantastic.
we did not. No,
which was a really great. I love how Morph fights, like how much they're giving him to do this season is so cool to see, because it's just so creative, and I really love that. But I think that was it. I talked about how I thought it was going to be gayer, and otherwise, I think I got all my thoughts out.
Jen, anything else about this episode you want to add?
I like people in the comments are asking like, are they going to adapt certain comics? Are they going to do whatever? If I was not running on like negative hours of sleep, I would be able to better answer those questions. I've also like they put so much into this season. They adapted storylines in quick succession in a way that I never would have expected. So like I have started to kind of expect the unexpected with this show.
The Peter and MJ reunion, I see a lot of people are very excited about that. That's just a follow-up to the animated Spider-Man. Where they are together, which is exciting for them. that the Avengers cameos in this episode I got very excited for, and I thought it was just brilliant use of the world and the characters. I feel like that's pretty much all.
I will say I was totally thinking that they were going to tease Onslaught or like flat out do Onslaught with Charles and Magnus and like what's happening with our minds and whatever. Like I totally expected them to get to that point. I'm glad they didn't, but like maybe they could down the line.
I had one minor teeny complaint, and I really thought we were gonna get like some Emma. I really thought, because
she was in the credits.
Oh, the credits, exactly. Yeah. When I saw her in the credits, I was like, all right. And like the last we saw, she was pulled out of the rubble. So I really did think we were going to get an Emma moment. And I don't know, maybe that's who they're talking about in terms of the Magneto truthers or whatever. But I really hope she has a bigger role in season 2, because I expected it, and that's my bad. That's my fault for expecting it. But I have faith that we're going to get a good chunk of Emma in season 2.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I'm going right now to look because I want to double check and make sure that I was not just blowing smoke about the Quicksilver being listed as Offworld.
Okay.
I have it up here right now. This scene right here.
Hold on. If you're listening in podcast form, I'm sorry.
We're looking at BD's computer screen. We've got the thing. He's forwarding.
Scarlet Witch, definitely Offworld.
Yeah.
I don't think we see Quicksilver.
Maybe I made that up.
Well, go watch the episode, everybody.
Yeah, right.
Tell us.
Look, Quicksilver right there, Offworld.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not crazy after all.
Maybe it's a little brother-sister trip.
Cable was there. What is that one Cable's name? Because my voice. All right. Out of 10, Jamie.
10 for the episode and 10 for the whole series. Because
we're doing.
I don't know. I decided we are, and I said it. 10 and 10.
I'm not mad at it. Jenna.
She's also totally fine with your 10 score ranking. It took time, but we finally.
I'm not okay with it. Let's don't put words in my mouth, Jenna.
You were enthusiastic to be ranking things on a 10 scale.
It's because there's no TV on Letterboxd, so it's not the same thing. But let me just be clear: I do not condone the 10 score.
We all heard it. We all heard the excitement in the 10.
I was excited about X, but no, it's fine. It's fine. Move on. We're moving on.
Jenna Anderson.
I'm gonna say 10. For the episode, definitely. Like I said, any minor gripes I have are like so small in like vast comparison to the rest of the episode. So easily a 10. And I guess since we're doing our season scores too, I don't know. Like I hadn't thought this far ahead. It's definitely somewhere between like a 9.5 and a 10. But I think it's this thing where so many episodes are incredible. So much of it I loved. It's doing something that like Marvel stuff in recent memory has not entirely done. So I would probably say like a 9.9.
All right. Well, I'm going with Jamie Durack. This is a 10 out of 10 episode and a 10 out of 10 season for me. I just the low point, and this is not this is the low point was probably the Jubilee and Storm episode. Which, if that's the low point, think about how good this season was.
How dare you call Mojo low?
Hey.
That's Mojo, my other boy. I got a lot of boys, and he's one of them.
Mojo, the ratings are not giving Mojo the juice he needs.
Scarlet Witch on Mojo World, season 2.
Oh my God. But like seriously, like to me that was the low point, and that's not even close to a bad episode. So that's my point. Is to say like if that's the low point for me, then this show was fantastic. It's just this finale was great. I don't know what else you could do in one of these shows to make it better. There was such wonderfully written tension and drama between these characters, and so many comic references, so much comic setup. Imagine that you follow the comics and things turn out really pretty cool, huh? X-Men 97. Great work. It's everybody who did it. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you to everybody who took the ride with us on Phase Zero. Jamie, any last words for today's X-Men tonight, whatever it is? Oh, hold on 1 second. We got final thoughts from one more. Thoughts from one more person.
Oh! Oh my gosh.
Yo,
Beautiful timing.
I saw the text and was like, wait, what? I like, dang it, someone's gonna call me. What's going on? Oh.
There was actually a debate on calling you, but it was like if you had peacefully fallen asleep, we didn't want to disrupt that.
Yeah.
I was worried about waking up Ari. Doctor's got a doctor, you know.
She's in the other room though.
Oh.
Like I was gonna go in the other room and be on the couch. So she's okay.
All right, Aaron. Real quick because we're wrapping up.
Sure.
We're glad you made it. What do you give this X-Men finale out of 10? Not to put you on the spot.
Not to put me on the spot. Oh my god. You know what? Since I don't get to hand any more 10s, it can have a 10.
Oh my god, 10 is the first 10s across the board.
There you go.
Woo!
Oh.
10s across. There's a little post-credit scene right here. Little credit scene. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, real quick, Aaron, anything you want to say about this episode?
I'm glad a lot of the stuff cashed out. I'm more confused than ever that like Bo, what the heck does that episode of Star Trek have to do with anything? Like, it's a Paramount shop. We got so many things to ask. Next time, like, he appears on Twitter, he's probably asleep, unlike us normal people. But yeah, I don't know. I'm flabbergasted, to be honest. I was like, what the heck happened? And then as soon as I was like, all I remember is getting up and looking at my phone and be like, wait a second, no, run in the other room. So I'll have more things to say. I'm also sad we don't get to talk about all the other stuff that has happened today. There's so much stuff has happened.
Yeah. When's our next news episode?
We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out off mic. Let's not commit to anything on mic.
That's good point.
We'll figure that out. I gotta leave for the airport in 3 hours.
Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge.
Yeah.
I'm coming y'all's way.
3 hours.
All right, Jenna, any last words for today's episode?
It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. And as always, go read some comics. As we've mentioned every single week we've covered this show is such a love letter to the comics. So just go read X-Men comics. This show definitely wants you to.
Jamie, we got all your last words in right before Aaron joined.
I don't think we did.
Wait.
I don't think we did. I'm just
okay.
gonna say at Jamie Jarek on Letterboxd and Instagram. I got my If review coming to the site tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. And otherwise, I'm just gonna say I can't wait for our next news episode because the news of today changed my life, and we'll just tease it there.
Does it rhyme with Schmickelis, Schmade, Schmeiderman, Schmoir?
Maybe.
Aaron, we just got your first words. Do you have any last words for today's episode?
Oh God! If you want to know about all the other stuff that happened today before we get a chance to talk about it, go to comicbook.com. Go keep an eye on BD's feeds for him exploring other places. Oh my God, I know. Same. And yeah, thank you guys for going on this ride with us, man. Like, golly.
Every time a show ends, I feel like a chapter of our Phase Zero lives is closing. But a new chapter begins. And maybe we'll see y'all at San Diego soon. What? Hold on, wait a second. All right, y'all, that's our show. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Play our show for your mom. Play it for your dog. I hope you have a wonderful day. And tell us what you thought of X-Men 97 by tweeting at us, commenting on social media. And if you hated it or you're just a dick, keep it to yourself. But just be nice. Just be nice to people on the internet. All right. Hey, thanks. We love you. Bye.